You as the most unbiased analyst in the world, who is your MVP this season?
It's SGA. I don't think like that should get a lot of pushback. It was a two-horse race. Uh, I guess based on media, Jokic probably gonna get not snubbed again, but like just like what you call it, uh, whatever the term is. I forgot the term, but he's just not gonna win. He already won it. Worst team this year. SGA just backpacked again. All time efficiency. 30 point per game, leading the league in scoring. First seed in the West by a huge margin. I think it's fair to say he's the MVP. Clear cut.
Max?
I think I can finally look at. I mean, the Jokic and Shea race obviously has been, I think, for some people not tight, but both players have been having insane years. The Shea free throw line merchant, whatever you want to say, Shea is having an historically good offensive year in the paint. His efficiency is insane. Shea is just having an insane year on a great team. And again, while Jokic is putting up Hall of Fame numbers, it's crazy to say that Shea doesn't deserve the award. I think if Jokic's team is better, I think Jokic obviously has a shot. But I think when this kind of race is so close, again, I think team success does matter. So both players are having great years. To be honest, in the nature of the award, I think it's changed. Right? I don't think the MVP has really been the most valuable player for. We've had this conversation for the last couple of years now. I honestly think that Jokic is the best player in the world, so he's the most valuable, right? Because he's the best player in the world to his team. But I mean, with the nature of what the award is, I think it goes to Shea.
KD, who is your MVP? Any change second change of heart, anything like that, or what's up?
I mean, there would never be any change of heart. Most valuable player, the player who's most valuable to their team. You take Jokic off the floor, that team is garbage. I think I even seen in the last week or so, Jokic with no Jamal, no Aaron Gordon, they're like a +7 or something in the last 8 games. Jamal and Aaron Gordon without Jokic are like a -10 or something like that. Don't quote me on those numbers or something like that, but the team just doesn't function without him. He's that good that he just legit backpacks them. It's backpacking them to the top 4 seed. Yeah, I get OKC has won a ton of games. Shea has had a great season, don't get me wrong, but the spirit of the MVP award, the most valuable player, does not just mean who's having the best individual season. To me, it means the player who is the most valuable player on the floor for any team, period. And Jokic is the best in the world, so I'm giving it to him.
We can't act like the NBA does not add narratives to it now.
Okay. I mean, I'm not. The question is, who am I picking for MVP? It's not about who the narratives are picking and all that stuff, or it's not even who I think. It's not even think Shea is going to win the award. It's not. It's stapled. My MVP is still Jokic. If I was given a vote today, it would be for Nikola Jokic.
Understand.
Man, listen. SGA is the MVP. Jokic has had an all-time great offensive season, and I respect that. He's definitely the best player in the NBA by a long shot. It's not really close at all. But Shea this season averaged 32.7 points per game, led the league, 63.7 true shooting, obviously 5 rebounds, 6 assists, also gave you damn near 2 steals a game. He's a really good help defender, regardless of team. When Shea is on the court, the Thunder have a plus 16.1 net rating. It's among the highest player. And they're 12 points better when he's on rather than he's off. Now, the Thunder have went through a lot of injuries this season.
What are they when he's off? You didn't even speak to that.
He's off. They're so plus. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
But this is not.
That's relevant. How is that not relevant?
That is relevant, but this award is not who has the worst GM. It's not. I promise you, it's not. It's not. It's not who has the worst GM. Now listen. It's not who has the worst roster. It's not. That's not what the award is, bro. Now, I think in terms of MVP conversation or overall player conversation, how good a team is when you're actually on the court, your on-court net rating means more to me than an on-off. How much are you driving winning? And again, Chet has missed a lot of time, who is the second best player on the team. Also, Hartenstein has missed time as well. Without Chet and J-Dub on the court this year, plus 24.9 net rating, and they have a 129 offensive rating, and that's a 900-minute sample size. That's a valuable sample size of just dominance. Like, he is carrying the offense by himself. Like, there is no like 100.
What about with those two on with Shea off?
It's not good. I checked. I can go look, but it's they're negative in those minutes, I believe. Because J-Dub is not good leading bench lineups. And also, I think that sample size is very, very small. Actually, it's not negative, but that sample size is very, very small. I checked earlier. I think it's like 100 so minutes.
What about J-Dub and Zay and Shea off? Like, what about all these other lineups with Shea off the floor that speak to just like how good the overall team is?
The overall team is great, right? But again, they missed both of those players for a lot of the season, and Shea just carried the offense. He just carried the offense. Like, we talk about Jokic having an all-time great season. Shea did too. I believe, as far as like offensively, he is like up there in all the advanced metrics. We can get into the advanced metrics. He's second in the league in EPM. He's first in LeBron. We want to get into all that. He's 1 and 2 in all of those metrics, where Jokic is a 1 in a few of them. Shea's 1 in a few of them. But he has like a 15-game lead on Jokic as far as their team's records, and that matters. I don't know when winning didn't matter in MVP voting. Like, I don't know where we got to that point, but it matters. It just really does. They have the second highest net rating in NBA history, and Shea is a really, really big part of that. He's the main factor in that. They have a great overall team, yes, but they don't have a lot of two-way players.
He's a big factor, but you have to realize a lot of the teams that are really good that had super high net ratings, a lot of them have bench lineups that have bad net ratings that bring the total numbers back down. OKC doesn't have that. Even when Shea's off the floor, they're still a positive. That's why their total net rating is that high.
When J-Dub was running there, I think it's not really like, as Shea plays a lot of minutes, and also J-Dub, he running the bench lineups are not good. I know that for a fact.
I'm talking Shea on, Shea off, J-Dub on. They're a +5 net.
Check with Shea. Check with Shea off, Chet off, or one day. I think, yeah.
So Shea and Chet off and J-Dub on.
I was looking at that earlier. It should be one of those line of queries should be negative. I think it's with J-Dub on.
They're even.
They're even. Okay, it could update it. But yeah. Also, now listen, Jokic is having an all-time great offensive season, but a part of the reason why they're a bad team, we're not a bad team. They're not a contending team, and they're not like are they a top 5 seed?
That you can't use the terms like contending team for a regular season award. Like that's not a
4 seed right now.
They're a 4 seed.
Yeah. They're going to finish 4 seed.
Okay, a big part of the reason why the Denver Nuggets have struggled this season is because their defense is awful. They're the 20th ranked defense, and a lot of that has to do with Jokic. Like, he's been an awful defender, terrible defender. He's having a historically great offensive season, but he's also bleeding a lot of points defensively, and it's worse as it's been in a minute. It really is. I think the Denver Nuggets are 25th right now in points in the paint, and he's a center. Like, defense is just inherently more, important.
Given that, they're still the 4 seed. Like, given all that, they're probably going to finish with 50
You think
wins.
Shea is like some great defender?
No, I think he's a plus on any team, though. I do think he's a plus on any team.
Ooh, any team, I don't know.
A
bad defensive team, Shea. I don't think
like some great defender. He has great steals numbers like that. Like,
no, it's not about the steals numbers. It's about his help defense.
But that's only good in a good team.
Depending on his team, that gets like real minutes. Like, he's not like some crazy defender. So I don't think his help defense really matters. Like, if you're gonna compare it to Jokic, it's like Jokic just a way better offensive player. Like, the gap between their defenses is not larger than the gap between them on offense. So like I don't really.
I don't know about that. But
Yo, no,
I don't know about that. I really don't.
We're
No,
already past the unbiased. Like
no,
that's
I'm just saying,
that's
gone.
gone.
Biased.
We're already past that point.
Jokic is genuinely a terrible defensive player.
He been there. He been there though. Like he been there.
As far as like how much they're peaking offensively right now, I don't think there's some type of huge gap between.
Oh my god! If you want to, that's so bad.
The scoring even.
Overall offense.
That's such a bad.
The playmaking gap is huge.
That's such a bad.
The playmaking gap is huge. The playmaking gap is huge. The overall creation gap, I don't think so. You can look at the advanced stats with it too. I don't think like Jokic is the best. He has an argument right now.
On-ball creation is not everything. Who's a better offensive player? Peak Steph or Shea?
Steph.
And Steph was not an on-ball player in his peak. He was very much an on-ball player. So just like pure,
I didn't say on-ball creation.
Well, if you're not saying on-ball creation, then overall creation, there's a lot.
The overall impact and creation of both
Jokic players. Clears
this season.
It's not close. I
don't think it's yes. He can be like we saying who is the better offensive player? It's obviously Jokic. Yes,
there's a gap.
I don't know. There may be a gap. I don't think there's a huge gap though. Like that's semantics though. That's semantics though. We're getting into it, but I don't think like what are we saying? What are we saying the gap is? Like, can we put it?
Jokic is like a top 3 to 5 offensive player of all time, and Shea is probably like this season is probably outside top 15.
I don't know about that, but
it is. He only provides on-ball scoring. His playmaking mid, off-ball ability virtually nothing at all.
Is it mid or is it passing mid?
I mean, his overall playmaking is mid because his passing is so mid.
I disagree there, but
what I mean, we're also you have to realize we're talking relative to like all-time great players.
Huh?
We're talking relative to all-time great players. Like,
okay, can we quantify it in like a number? Like let's say if Jokic is a 10 out of 10 offensively, where's Shea?
Probably an 8.
That's what I'm saying, though. That's what I'm saying. That's my point.
A 10 versus an 8 is a large gap. Like that. Like,
is it though? Is it?
Yes.
I guess that's where we disagree. That's what I'm saying. That's why I asked you to quantify it. Like if Jokic is a 10 offensively and Shea is an 8 offensively. Which I don't know. Maybe he's a 9, but I don't know if that's a large gap though. That's what I'm saying.
A 9 is probably like James Harden at his peak.
We'll get into that later. We'll get to that later. No, I'm saying because I got a segment for us after we finish this conversation. But yeah, Jokic again. It's been just generally awful defensively. I think again the Nuggets are 25th in points in the paint. They let up a lot of points in the paint. He just doesn't try. I really want to know how much how many points he's bleeding defensively because it's probably a lot just off the eye test. I saw I think it was a 20-minute video of just Jokic bad defense. Like it's really I don't know, man. But yeah, my whole point is
he definitely bleeds points.
I bet you ain't never seen them SGA compilations where he just not doing nothing on defense.
Yeah. I mean, he's a help defender. I mean, he's a help defender, and he on the ball. I mean, he's not guarding the best player at all. Like nowhere near close.
Or the second,
or the third, or the fourth. If we're being honest,
how many players? I mean, we're not saying anything that's not also like the same case for all other time like great offensive engines. Like even Michael Jordan, when he was at the highest peak, he's not guarding nobody. I don't know what we're doing.
MJ was definitely guarding people. He wasn't guarding.
They actually are.
He wasn't guarding the best player. That was Pippen, but MJ was 100% taking more like harder assignments than Shea. Like
harder relative to the area, but like we being honest, like the skill.
Yeah, obviously the skill level of the players aren't the same. That's clear, but
also I just I think what is the tiebreaker in a sense because again there are 1 and 2 and a lot of the offensive metrics is the record. They're just a much better team and that's why he's going to win the award, which I think is fair because Luka had an all-time great season last year and didn't win it because they weren't good enough. So we got to be consistent at some point. We just do. Like, I don't know.
I mean, like that's why I'm being consistent. Like Luka, I didn't have. I had Jokic last year. Yeah, I had Jokic last year. Luka might have had a better individual season, but that didn't matter to me. Jokic is the best player here, like on the planet.
Hugh, did you have Luka last year?
Yes.
Well, you picked Shea, so yeah. Well.